Well, we might as well finish Tier 9 whilst we're at it, since we don't have many more events to go. We've got 2 to do here at Central Route, and then we've got another 3 to do at Eastern Bay, so yeah, we might as well finish it. As we begin, once again, with the traffic attack, as we're at Central Route Short. And like I did before, I'm going to use one of my slower cars, because I figured it would put me in a better mindset by the time we get to where the real action is. And I'm going to drive this thing in. Yeah, let's try this thing in blue. Why not? So 650,000 is the gold target, 300,000 the silver, and 125,000 the bronze. So let's go and get it done. I also just had a very awkward moment where my body hairs got caught on my shirt. It was really annoying. As in my chest hairs got caught on my shirt, that's what I'm pointing to. It was really annoying. I was not going to hit that bus. And since I do not have the ability to use the Crashbreaker, at least the trick shot worked. Even though that other one failed. Which also kind of sucks. Honestly, I always feel like every time the seconds tick away, it's almost like I'm just waiting to see how long it is before a bomb goes off. Because at this point in time, kind of does feel like this is just happening the way it is. Okay. And we've got the silver. Now we need to secure the gold. And I think there was enough traffic there to give me just enough time to do it. So maybe we're actually in the right place this time. Although at this point in time, who really knows? I feel like the traffic is trying to fuck me as much as the event is. So at this point in time, I don't really know. Until I can get some seconds back on the clock. I need more small vehicles. That's what I need. Fuck you. Okay. I need more than this. I am not done yet. Okay, we got the gold now. It's fine. And apparently I caused over $1 million in damages as well. Yep, I totally called that. I was not thinking to myself that was actually going to happen, but then as soon as I thought it was going to go over $1 million, it basically did go over $1 million. Okay. This was definitely more challenging than other traffic attacks I've had up to this point. But considering I actually got over $1 million, and it was right after I got the gold, I'm honestly very satisfied with that. thinking it wasn't going to happen, but then suddenly right there, it basically did happen. Okay, on to the next one. Okay, what car are we going to get? The limited R205 GT. And my god, does this thing look like a race car. Okay. So we're still at the short course, and it's a Crashbreaker race. I know I've already got the challenge sheet done. The only thing that's really left is the bus station takedown, and I don't think I'm going to get that on the short course. But hey, we might as well finish it, since at this point there isn't really much else I can do. We might as well finish this. Seems like the best option anyway. Okay, let's go. Okay, here we are for another Crashbreaker race. And immediately I get wrecked by the hot rod. Or slammed, I should say. Is the more appropriate term. And there is my first takedown of the race. And probably a lot more to come as well. Oh wait, is that the bus station? Something tells me it might be the bus station. Down there. Unless that's the shopping mall. And I got a takedown on the Nixon Special. Actually, yeah, I'm pretty convinced in saying that is the bus stop. Ironically, I spotted it on the short course. And I get wrecked by him. Okay. I have to make sure I get him back. Wherever he is. He is basically the one guy I have to wreck. And there goes the 70s F1 machine, since that is what it's based off. The Lotus 72 to be more specific. And I got triple payback involved. Nice. I actually quite like Central Route. This course actually isn't too bad, if I'm being thoroughly honest. Okay. I'm gonna take the shortcut. And doesn't look like there's any buses there, so it's probably not that one. I keep getting the takedowns, but at the same time, I also keep failing in terms of being able to produce anything significant. Okay, I think I got payback on him. So he is no longer my revenge rival. He is now wrecked. And I am going to stay in the middle of the road because this is where I am safest. Okay, well I did get revenge on somebody at least. And I get my revenge takedown on the hot rod. Nice. Which is exactly what I wanted. Okay, I am now in P2. Now I have to find out where P1 is. Come on, can I get in? Come on, go, 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 go. Okay. In the lead now. Now I have to make sure I hold on to the lead. Somehow without choking it away. And I do. I hold on to it by a slim margin, I think. I'm also pretty sure I won that one first try as well. So, thankfully, the game does manage to keep finding ways to redeem itself, and not making this completely stressful. Anyway, 2 events down, let's get through the rest. Alrighty. So, what do we have left? Well, the central route events are all sweeped. So we have a road rage, and we have an eliminator. We might as well do the road rage first. And this time, I think we're going to use the Criterion Racer just to see how we do. Even though this will probably be my death sentence. But whatever, I'm prepared to see what happens. Okay. Hopefully this time, if possible, I will not be hoodwinked by the amount of traffic. I really feel like the game in some cases is setting a dangerous precipice by not telling me when my car is at damage critical. And that's kind of what's bugging me. Could I have probably finished the event before and maybe gotten a silver from it? Yes, I think so, but I chose not to do it because I know what happened last time when the game didn't say about me being damage critical, and there were no cars involved. I've said this before and I will say it again, but winning a race here without crashing, that is going to be a pain in the ass. In other words, it is going to be a pain in the ass to the point where it feels like both my hands and both my legs are going to be bleeding at the same time. If and when I actually get it done. In other words, it's going to be a combination of what feels like internal bleeding and probably external bleeding, both at the same time. Because that's just how hard it is to avoid getting wrecked here. I mean, there's just way too much traffic for a wreck of some sort to not happen. You just know it's either going to be the traffic that crashes you, or it's most likely going to be the AI that crashes you. I have been in both instances plenty of times, and I know when this course has almost certainly done enough to make me think that it will most likely keep doing it. And now I am just one takedown away from finishing, and there we go. Gold is ours. And once again, that instantly failed. And thankfully my car was not damage critical, as I take down whoever the fuck that was. Okay, 25. How many more can we get from here? 26, so we're 4 above target. Now, I need to make sure I... Now I need to make sure I keep myself on target. Alright, 28, 29, Can we get to 30? Yes, we can. We're at 30 now. Make that 31. 32. I think my previous highest score in the Road Rage was 36. Although it might have been over 40. No, actually, I just remembered. My highest score in a Road Rage is 41. That's my highest score that I've set in a Road Rage event so far. It's definitely 41. I'm sure of it. Try what you will to wreck me, but you're not going to stop me. Yeah, it was definitely 41. That was definitely my previous highest score. Can I reach 40? Yes, I can. And now we're at 41. So we've now tied our record, and now we've surpassed our record. We're now at 42. How many more can we get? 44. Could we be on course for more, maybe? Oh, we're doing a good job so far. How much further can we go? Doesn't look like we're gonna get to 50. Yeah, that might be too much to ask at this point. You know what? Fine. I'll accept it. 46. That's definitely a new highest that I have encumbered in a Road Rage event. And in all honesty, I'm not gonna lie, that run was really good. I liked that run a lot. And now we have a few more events to go. I think that's now 3 we've done, so I think we probably have another 2 before we unlock the GP event. So let's go and finish those. Okay, 7 of 9. So the GP event is now unlocked, and we also have the Eliminator, and we also have another one at Angel Valley. And got all the signature takedowns. Which one am I missing? Oh, that one. You know what, I might as well do it. Just because it's here for me to do. Might as well just get on with it. And we'll use the limited M type. And so here we go for another race. This time at Angel Valley. And where I can guarantee I am probably going to crash at least once. Because the AI will do whatever it takes to make sure I die. And they've immediately proven that. The bastards. I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to immediately plaster over this gash wound and pretend it didn't happen. This was an attempt that did not deserve to be done. Okay, first of all, fuck the traffic, and second of all, fuck the AI. I'm just going to immediately say that, with no remorse whatsoever, and just make sure that every single one of them pay the ultimate price. I'm gonna make sure they die. And try to make sure I somehow don't die. Even though that's probably not gonna happen because of how we're on the reverse course. And I missed a shortcut already. But you know what? I'm gonna try seeing if I can actually get this right. I think it is worth a try at least once. even though the AI will probably do whatever it takes to stop this from being a clean run. And when I say clean run, I refer to a crash-free run. Something that's probably not going to happen, given how the AI were and basically still are doing everything in their power to make sure I do not succeed with this, and likely won't succeed with this unless I get really lucky. Although it is nice to have some breathing room, at least for now, which is one benefactor I get. And surprisingly, that was a perfect lap. At least I set a perfect lap before I got wrecked right at the start of the second lap. I think if that was just a one lap event, I probably could have got the no crash reward, but unfortunately, because this is 2 laps, my hopes of achieving that were just immediately dashed. And as you can imagine, I wasn't particularly happy about it. But like many other things in this world, you just have to either accept the regrets. I think that's the first time ever I actually got total payback. I'm pretty sure that has never happened before, up to this point of the game, but I actually took out the whole field, which is why it said total payback. That has honestly never happened until now. I honestly didn't think I was going to get one of those, but I am actually so glad I did. Plus, in general, if I can actually keep this run going, then this, in general, will be regarded as probably one of my best runs yet. If I can just stay out front and limit the mistakes, then I should be there. And sure enough, that's exactly what I prove. Still, I did not think I was going to get the whole field involved in that. I mean, total payback. I was wondering if it was actually going to happen, but then suddenly right there it did happen. And I also set a perfect lap as well. And there's everything else, and I got 5 crash escapes. And a total of 18 takedowns in the end, with a streak of 6 takedowns. And I had 1 revenge takedown. And 9 Crashbreaker takedowns. Although nothing in terms of the total takedown, I don't think. Oh well, anyway. I think we've got 1 event to go before we get on with the GP event, so I might as well go and do that. And then we've just got the GP event left to do. Okay, here we go. So we've done almost everything here, as the only one we've got left is an Eliminator, and then we've got Grand Prix 9, which should end Tier 9. So let's go and do both of them, as we begin with the Eliminator. And this time we're going to use... we'll use this. And I think we'll drive it in... yeah, let's drive this thing in silver. I don't think silver looks too bad on this car, in all honesty. And so here we go with the Eliminator. The last event we have to do before we get on with the GP event. And I think I might use one of the special car models for that. I feel like I've probably said this before, but you know what I'm gonna say this time? I'm just gonna say, overall, fuck the AI, fuck the Eastern Bay traffic, and fuck the Eastern Bay pillars. I almost feel like I could say fuck Eastern Bay in general, but I feel like there are some parts of the course that do still spare me from the great and indefinite despair in the positions I don't always find myself in. Like, it's basically this track's way of trying to send me a big massive fuck you. But at this point in time, I'm prepared to keep trying until I win. Because at this point, that's what I have to do. And I really have to try and make sure that I somehow stay out of trouble long enough to really make sure that I get my recompense. Because right now, I am probably asking for too much. Or at least it feels like I am asking for too much. RIP. Although it's probably not going to be too long before he's back again. Basically, what I have to do to win is I need to somehow not crash. And there goes the no crash reward I might have gotten, because the EA racer fucked me. I don't think that's the EA racer behind me, but he was definitely the one who used the vertical takedown on me. I think had it not been for him, I might have actually gotten the no crash reward. I mean, I was so close to achieving it. I think Eliminators do technically count as races, so I might have actually gotten the reward had it not been for him. But I guess we'll never know now because, well, he vertical TD'd me before I could achieve it. And haven't unlocked any cars, which sucks at the moment, but either way. We got through this little strafer, and now we have to go and get through the other strafer, the GP. At least I won. I didn't get the no crash bonus, but you know what? I just don't give a shit right now. Soon as I get the GP event done, I don't have to come back here. So let's just buckle up and get this done. And this time I'm going to use the Euro Classic. And by this time, I'm going to race this thing. Yeah, let's race it in green and see how we do. Euro Classic LM for GP9. Okay, here we go, and oh shit, we're starting at Eastern Bay again. You know what? The things that you encounter here at Eastern Bay, they are assholes. And I start this off with a vertical takedown and a double payback. Although I immediately start this off with a wreck and basically 3 takedowns. really don't know what to say right now. Aside from saying that this game does not want to stop. Except for saying that this game does not want to stop what is effectively this game's genocide against me. And basically something that just never wants to stop. Like, it basically just wants to keep just absolutely slaughtering me, dismantling me, and then basically fishing out every single organ in my body until there is literally nothing of me left. At this point in time, I really do feel like I should just fucking quit. Because I'm honestly very close to giving up right now. Because of what this one GP is just doing to me right now. And the fact that it is basically just draining my strength ounce by ounce. And the fact that it is just single-handedly humiliating me. I am seriously ready to just quite literally stop it. Because right now, I am so very close to just giving up. And just leaving it for a day when I actually feel like I can win this. Because right now, that is not fucking happening. And I really am just getting generally mad. Fuck you. And I really am just getting generally mad with how just about everything is playing out at this point. And the fact that it is just becoming practically unworkable for me to just do this. For me to just do this, get this done, and then never have to do it again. I really feel that's honestly what this game is doing to me right now. Like the bombastic torture has literally just gone nuclear. It's basically nuclear bombastic pain at this point. And as much as I know I can take it, I just don't feel like mentally I can continue taking this. There was no way I could have seen that card because the sun was in my eyes. I am so pissed off right now. It's not even gonna let me get past the first race without some sort of ungratifying pain that is just gonna continue. That is just gonna continue to put me in misery. At least I pay back the Formula Racer. I really feel like at this point I just basically just want to quit. Because if I have another performance like what I have just been having for pretty much the nearly past hour at this point, then I really am just going to tell myself to stop immediately. Wait, is that guy a lap down? That guy might actually be a lap down. Although at this point it's not going to matter because I keep crashing. Although I did pay back most of the field anyway. Whoever thought about making GP9 virtually insufferable, I hope right now you are actually suffering, because I feel like the bombastic road cannibalism, it's just suddenly went nuclear. Who the fuck cares? Yeah, I have just lost pretty much all reasons to care at this point. Like, there is quite literally no reason to care in any way whatsoever anymore. I have simply just stopped caring about whatever happens now. The only thing I want to do is get what basically is a fucked up man-child just out of my life. That's all I want to do right now. I just want to somehow get what's effectively a fucked up man-child just out of my life. Because at this point in time, I really do feel like I have just lost pretty much all reasons for caring at this point. Like, I just want it to be done and that's it. Simply don't care what happens anymore. As long as it's done, and as long as I have at least 2 wins, because that is how I technically get the perfect score. And if I don't, then I will probably just quit altogether. I mean, just quit trying for today altogether. Because this is a very sadistic game that I know Satan is not going to let me go for. And somehow I set a perfect lap. Don't know how though. I think at this point, unless the leader is just up ahead of me, I will take that point back. It would honestly be a great achievement if I could actually finish this. Huh. And I did. I finished it with 2 perfect laps. 2 wins on the board, and everyone has at least 1 point on the board. Okay, final race. Can we please try and finish it this time? I've been struggling now for nearly an hour on this attempt of recording to just get there. If I can just finish this, then I never have to do this again. And I mean never. Right, okay. Angel Valley. Can they finish on the podium? That's a definite maybe. But am I gonna try and go for the podium? Yes, absolutely. Because at this point I have to. And also because I have to make sure that I lead much of the race. And no one took the shortcut. Never mind, someone did take the shortcut. Yeah, unless I wind up using one of the slowest cars in the game, there is no fucking way I'm going to win a race without crashing. Unless I use one of the slowest cars in the game. It's just not gonna happen, Chief. Regardless of how hard I try it. With a faster car. I mean, the faster cars are just way too fragile for me to really do anything about them. I mean, they literally are fragile. With just how easy it is to wreck them. It's like I quite literally am driving what's effectively a 500 horsepower ball of fire. And it really does just feel ridiculous to think that I have to go through this. And I shouldn't have to. That's partly the reason as to why I have just stopped caring now. And I did not get payback on the guy who wrecked me. Well, at least I got a revenge shunt. Which is one thing. Although it's still not the takedown. And I paid back most of the field as a result of that. Would be really nice if I could get a clean sweep. Because then it means that pretty much all that horror and suffering I put myself through was basically for me to wind up getting a clean sweep in the end. Of course, I don't think that's going to happen, but the feeling would be nice though. And I would certainly be open to it. Now, looks like a podium might be the best I can. Can you please just stop? Stop trying to find whatever ways you're finding to make this worse than what it already is. Can you please just stop? I'm actually begging you to stop. I'm not hitting any more vehicles. Ah, finally! God, that took me over an hour on this attempt of recording to actually get past this. If I did not get a clean sweep, after pretty much all the pain and torture I went through since I started this, I would have honestly been very upset and pissed off had I not got that sweep, because I would have felt worthless. But thankfully I don't. So I get a clean sweep in GP9 after suffering for more than an hour on this attempt at recording. Then Driver 4 finished second with 11, then it was Driver 2 who completes the podium with 6 points, then we had a tie for 4th between Driver 3 and Driver 1, and Driver 5 scored 3 points and finished in last. And so there we go. GP9 is finally done, and I never have to do this again. And now we can move on to Tier 10, also known as the final tier. And then afterwards we can pretty much go and finish off whatever extras we need to finish off. Is this the same car we already had before, or is this a different one? I think it might be a different one. Oh yeah, we got that thing, the 3 Revenge TD challenge in a single race. Yeah, editing this is probably going to be a nightmare. But you know what? I don't care. We finished Tier 9. And the other thing I can say is, fuck Grand Prix 9. It was absolute hell. I fucking hate Grand Prix 9. So glad I never have to do that again. Anyway, we've now finished 151 events. In this game, we're 93% complete. We've only got 11 cars left to win. We've also finished 53 challenges. We've got over 2,200 takedowns, 105 revenge takedowns. I had a feeling we were going to pass 100 sooner or later. And I've driven 62 total perfect laps. And still one full burning lap, surprisingly. And here is everything else. And yeah. Anyway, Tier 9 is now done, and the last few events are going to be in Tier 10, which means we have precisely 18 race events to do in Tier 10. However, I'm going to give myself a break for a few days before getting back to this, because, my god, was finishing GP9 stressful. So, anyway, with that being said, next up on Burnout Revenge, starting Tier 10.